So it's live now. But I'm gonna put you guys backstage, and then
Alfred, I heard you.
Are we live now?
I'm not hearing you at all. I'm not hearing you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Any one of you can hear me?
Yeah. Okay. As I'm going, it's live now. So you guys,
you gotta work
can
on
go on the
the audio.
and share it.
They are saying they can't hear us.
Okay, are you guys hearing me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
So
can both of you guys hear
I'm hearing
me?
you guys live.
Okay, cool.
Good. So I'm gonna go ahead in a few minutes and play some commercials while you guys share. I'm gonna put you guys backstage, but don't just stay tuned, okay?
So we are the country giant. But the country joke when we get him out.
Liberian people are struggling. We are dying on a daily basis. President, we should open your ears, look at your eyes. It's our right to tell you that the Liberian people are going to bed hungry on a daily basis. It's our right to tell you that people are working 4-5 months, there's no salaries. The people say you love this country, but this country you kick it all the football. If the government will not answer to us here, today, tomorrow, day after, and in the future, we stay here. Forget about the divisive politics. They're not bringing Liberians together. Georgia is dividing our country. Majority of my colleagues at the legislature are serving the pleasure of the president against the will of the people. Exactly.
house.
Liberian people are struggling. We are dying on a daily basis. President, we should open your ears, look at your eyes. It's our right to tell you that the Liberian people are going to bed hungry on a daily basis. It's our right to tell you that people are working 4-5 months, there's no salaries. The people say you love this country, but that country you kick all the football. If the government will not answer to us here, today, tomorrow, day after, and in the future, we stay here. Forget about the divisive politics. They're not bringing Liberians together. Georgia is dividing our country. Majority of my colleagues at the legislature are serving the pleasure of the president against the will of the people.
Okay. Jonathan, your mic is off. Can you connect your mic? Okay, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the broadcast. It's African TV. Today we are joining with our guest. Today we're going to delve into the issue.
Can you guys see me clear?
We are going to delve into the issues, especially issue of national concern. So let me just highlight what we're going to be discussing. Inflation.
Hey, he can't hear you. I can't hear you. I mean, I can hear you, but he can't hear you. The other guy.
Your mic is muted, Jonathan. Okay. Talk. Okay, just remove the earbuds, then you will be able to hear us. Just remove it. Sometimes it causes that.
Jonathan, can I hear you?
Remove the earbuds. I can hear him as well. That's the cause of the earpiece. Just remove it.
But text him. Do you have his
Okay, so he just left the show. Me try to connect him. While I try to connect him, play some communication. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to get to the point now because you know.
So we are the country giant. But the country just get him out.
Liberian people are struggling. We are dying on a daily basis. President, we should open your ears, look at your eyes. It's our right to tell you that the Liberian people are going to bed hungry on a daily basis. It's our right to tell you that people are working 4-5 months, there's no salaries. The people say you love this country, but that country you kick all the football. If the government will not answer to us here, today, tomorrow, day after, and in the future, we stay here. Forget about the divisive politics. They're not bringing Liberians together. Georgia is dividing our country. Majority of my colleagues at the legislature are serving the pleasure of the president against the will of the people. Exactly.
So we are the country giant. But the country just get him out.
Liberian people are struggling. We are dying on a daily basis. President, we should open your ears, look at your eyes. It's our right to tell you that the Liberian people are going to bed hungry on a daily basis. It's our right to tell you that people are working 4-5 months, there's no salaries. The people say you love this country, but this country you kick it all the football. If the government will not answer to us here, today, tomorrow, day after, and in the future, we stay here. Forget about the divisive politics. They're not bringing Liberians together. Georgia is dividing our country. Majority of my colleagues at the legislature are serving the pleasure of the president against the will of the people. Exactly.
All right. Finally, we are here. Let me introduce the point quick, so we can proceed. Highlights inflation. So inflation, as mandated by Excellency President George Manuel Weah, the government of Liberia continues in COVID-19 food assistance program to socio-economically disadvantaged and densely populated area. Those are our talking points today. So now we're gonna talk about the inflation in the country. By the way of reminder, and as the US rate now in the country is $200 if I'm tend to be corrected. So this is according to UWFP something. But anyways, number 2 is the gasoline situation in the country. The gasoline.
Hello.
Is it property? Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go over the agenda.
Okay, so the agenda is inflation. So some of the main points cause of inflation in the country, especially is COVID-19. As we know now that there is no importing. People are not importing due to restriction on travels, and Secondly, is the fuel, the gasoline situation in the country. Um, recently, the government of Liberia suspended the lessons of uh, those petrol companies who were bringing in. According to them, they said that um, there was some mismanagement that was going on, some fraudulent act that was going on in the country. So, for which, of course, that we are trying to suspend the lessons of companies in the country. And poverty in Liberia is high, and approximately 83.3% of the population live on less than $1.25 a day. High level of poverty often lead to hunger. Around 60% of households in Liberia are food insecure, and 2% are severely food insecure. So that's the headline today. And the next one is: do you think um, the country, the economy is impacted or have grown over by the government? Why or why not? Or next thing is: do you think we do need regime change? So I will start with Jonathan. Thank you guys for having me, and thank you guys for joining the Africa show.
Jonathan, do you want to come in or you mute, Jonathan? Can you hear me, Jonathan?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay.
Okay, so
Where's the other guy? He left?
yeah, let's keep on. Maybe he might join later.
Okay. It's a big topic we're about to discuss today. And hopefully, I hope we should understand and take some of the ingredients we definitely going to be making available here today. My name is Kwado Sharif, as you can see right below my right below me there. Yeah, so I want to say thank you, Mr. Alfred, for organizing this. But I just want to make this clear to you. I don't mind coming on shows, especially when somebody invites me, because I'm not better than any one of you here. We all need to come together and discuss the issues pertaining our country, most especially when the country is not leading the right way, when it's in the darkness. We need to talk, and nobody else would talk about it unless we, the folks back there, abroad and back there. Yeah, but I would suggest that the platform we need to, but it is the first time. I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're going to work on it. Make sure we are prepared. The time we show should be the time we will talk. We will come on live, and we'll just make sure we are prepared next time. Now, going to the topic here, there's a couple of topics you sent me, and I highlighted some of them. I made my own research, tried to for all to discuss this prudently, and for every one of us to be on track. You did mention inflation, scarcity of rice, and gas situations. So I will first start with inflation. Um, Inflation, it is oftener when it comes to our Liberian certain, especially when it comes to governing. It would be very, very naive of anyone to just blame it on this current regime. Um, but every government that comes to power has their own burden. They should be able to work in some type of way to alleviate the problem, the inflations, or to at least curtail the inflation. Since 1847, or let me not just go that far. Let me start with 2005, right after the 14 years of war. We have been experiencing inflations. Sometimes the government intend to try to work on it, but then after a few times it spark up again. And this has been very often in our governance system. Alien regime from 2005 all the way up to 2017. Again, this regime. But the the problem with this regime is how well and what effort. It's not about the problem, but if you can find solution for it. Because this regime, 2017, if I can recall, this regime, their sole purpose of coming to this position we are in right now, or their slogan was change. That is corruption, to fix the problem Liberian people are fixing, especially when it comes to inflation, like we're talking about, makes things available for people, even if it's not free, but somebody who from his farm or her farm can come in time and afford and go back, make things easy for people, especially youth empowerment, accountability. That was their slogan. Even though we didn't hear anything from the president during the debate, he was not even present. He did not give us agenda, but that was one of his campaign rhetoric. We're going to bring change, and I feel like it was the reason why he became president. Because many young folks, including me, we all were, we were all, in quest for change. We wanted change. We wanted Liberia to go forward, not backward any longer, because of the past experience. But unfortunately, everything changed everything changed for Liberia within just 6 months into this regime. 2017, when this regime came to power, or let's say the very beginning of 2018, everything changes. When I was living in Liberia 2016, US rate was 190, not 90, 188, sometimes 180, depends. And when it is really, really high, it's 190. And that was even the buy rate, if I can recall. That was in 2016 when I left Liberia. It is very sad to be hearing that we are even in 200 or 190 or 188. But you can take something for something. So yesterday 188, we can say now it was better than what we have right now, because all is high. It should be 1-to-1. Liberians, let's just forget about the US rate, even though it is important, because it is one of the reasons why a lot of Liberians cannot afford what they want to afford, they used to afford before. Let's talk about input. Let's talk about how difficult it is for companies, or let's say business people in and out Liberia, especially Liberians, are going through when it comes to helping their country, or when it comes to importing their own goods into the country. The government is very, very, let me say, frantic about making things difficult on his own people than even talking about foreigners. I ship containers. My wife ship containers a lot. She send them back home. The beaver is a hell to even work with. It has become one of the beaver. Everything you send in Liberia, they charge you disproportionately. They charge you somehow that sometimes you might not even able to afford to pay for your container or your goods in the container. It is a problem. So if you make it difficult for somebody, a Liberian who is living abroad, trying everything they can to ship things back home, or to carry business back home, or carry things back home, to infuse it in the economic system, or to put it in the market so that people can buy it cheap. But if you make things very expensive on them or difficult on them, what do you think going to happen? They are going to change the price because they pay more money to the Freeport. That's one. The way the government carries on charging unnecessarily when it comes to dealing with business people, especially through the Pope. That's one. And You see, inflation comes when the government lacks of trust. That's one of the reasons too inflation comes. Inflation comes when the government lacks of trust. I am not saying the past government was not corrupt. Yes, the past government was corrupt. There was corruption. And today I can say was a lot of corruption. And I can attest to this, that this government came to power with not, I mean, with less to work with when it comes to how much was in the account. All right. But that's not an issue. The issue is, as a government, you need to be able to trust, to make people to trust you, especially your citizens. They need to trust you, international community, other business partner, anybody you work with, they need to trust you. Trust is one thing to success. Okay? This government lacks that. There is no trust. At the end of the day, you find the small market women, or let's say business people, entrepreneur or whosoever they are in Liberia, setting their little things there and don't put the money into the bank. They save that money. They don't trust. Can you guys hear me? Because I think my computer was messing up a little bit. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you are live.
Okay, cool. My bad for that. Again, the trust. It is the trust we are talking about. If a business partner trusts you, they will render everything they have, or they will be waiting to help you or to work with you, if you are trustworthy. If you are not, then you bring in scarcity. You bring in problem. Then there's a problem because your partner doesn't trust you anymore. Then there's going to be like what the Liberian call Croco G. The man will start hiding things from you. And this is one of the reasons why it is difficult for our Liberian government, most especially the finance, to work around, these type of issues, these inflations, to curtail them, to put them into working procedure. You find banks around Monrovia now the day that you find banks are crying for money. They don't have liberties. They don't have money for changing or whatever it is. They don't have money. You go to the bank today, you send money to your mom or you send money to your family, they go to the bank, it takes forever to get that money because there's no money. The people are afraid to put the money there. They only want to receive the money. And that's not how a bank system should work. There should be money flowing everywhere in the bank to work with. Again, let me look in my talking point here. Again, that has been one of our problems. We've been struggling to work with that, the trust from the government, between the government and the people they're serving. And I'm taught this has to do, and also material one has to do with integrity. All right, integrity. There is a lot of people that works within this government that has less integrity for their position they're serving. Okay. But I can hear you. Can you hear me, Jonathan? I can hear you, Jonathan. Can you fix that, my man? Jonathan can hear me.
I'm not getting you at all. I'm not getting you.
Wow.
Okay, I'm getting you now.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay. My bad for that, Jonathan. What I was saying, Jonathan, the third thing I was actually approaching here was, this government lacks integrity, especially the government officials, the officials that are working in this government. I can name you a few that lacks integrity. When we say integrity, people feel like somebody was born, he did not fight war, he did not kill somebody, he did not steal. But integrity can actually be classified, or let's say can be knowing when you are in power, when you actually start working somewhere, or you start to deal with people. That way people can tell from how you respond to issues, and your integrity will tell. Because somebody can be born today and and they don't have the opportunity to show off or do a whole lot of stuff. So you might not know their integrity until they get to certain places. Now, I'm going to start with my own brother, my own uncle, because we Mandingos from Lofa County, we and the Loma people, we are uncles and sisters, I don't know, nephew, whatever it is. So my own uncle, Jefferson Koji, he's from my county. Jefferson Koji lacks integrity. He lacks the ethics of work. And you see, when you are having people like this working in the government, you find it very difficult for people to align with you. You always will find people alienating themselves from you to another thing. That is the reason why you found today in Maserado, you found Mr. DeLon is so popular, because the way this government is proceeding. All right, Jefferson Koji, let me just discuss that quickly, and then I'll go to the third one, the fourth one. Jefferson Koji lacks code of conduct. And I mean, it is not just Jefferson Koji, it's everyone. But I just named Jefferson Koji because I just want to talk, based on, I just want, I don't want to consume much time here. Jefferson Koji, for instance, Jefferson Koji goes to work and preach politics. He goes to work, don't worry about what he's supposed to do, clean the city, but he worries about preaching politics. Jefferson Koji would go to the party. And one thing this government lacks, they fail to understand, is that when you are a government, you're no longer a partisan, you no longer carry on partisan thing again. You and nobody got competition. You are the boss. You are the boss. You have the final decision. You are the number one person in the country. You and nobody have to go and fight for position any longer. Your work will tell you, or your work will fight for you, what you have done. But they lack that. Jefferson Koji serving as a city mayor, at the same time he's serving as, I don't know, what, a deputy chairman for CDC party or whatever it is. And he will use the state vehicle to go on to these occasions. And the president is saying that. That alone can cause, problem for a government. And that alone can make people to go strongly against you. And when you have people that lacks integrity and all of these things, it actually contributes to inflations. Because people don't understand human capacity. If you're not being human capacity, if you're not working to improve human capacity, you found a whole lot of people will not be very effective enough when it comes to building themselves up. You'll find people getting frustrated so quickly. You'll find people stepping backward. You'll find people getting away from the positive stuff and getting themselves to certain things because what they expect from you are not delivering. All right. And there's a whole lot of stuff for the gas, my brother. I don't know much about the gas. The gas issue was couple of months ago, and reason I can't speak to that more because I feel like even though right now it's hard, but the Liberians are resilient. They are not complaining about it. They are pretty cool with the situation, and they are just getting accustomed every day and night to some of these issues. So gas, as long as they are moving, we all know the transportation fare is it's skyrocketing, and we know that. But it is what it is. People are finding themselves comfortable with that, so you can't really speak to that. For me, I can't really speak to that. Again, for the rice, when you talk about rice, I feel like scarcity of rice. The government I remember, let me say 2 or 3 weeks ago, when the commerce minister was in the street of Monrovia, from door to door, let's say from shop to shop, trying to ask people to not haul rice to sell their rice. I feel like it makes sense, and it doesn't really make sense all at the same time, because you only do that when you are putting the right mechanism into place so that people cannot haul the rice. if you're doing the right thing, and then people are now following what you are implementing, then you can definitely vehemently go on the street and try to work these things out. Um, like I was saying, Western Top the government herself is holding the rights. As you all know, we have this program right now they call We Are Project Food Distribution. $30 million were taken out of the $57 million loan. I don't know, $50 million or $57 million loan that was secured from the World Bank or the IMF just recent time ago. $30 million was subtracted from that towards the food distribution in the country, and it was intended for less privileged people. And yet we haven't seen. Let's say we are not even seeing what was proclaimed by them yesterday, that they were going to be given to less fortunate people. Because I can tell you, the same less fortunate people they claim that they will be giving food to, they are complaining. You find the blind community complaining, the disabled, meaning the disabled people stay complaining. Here and there, if you listen to radios, OKFM, even last week, there were disabled people, communities that were praising DeLong for the hard work he has been doing, and they are very frustrated in the government for not living up to the tax they claim. And the scarcity of rice, of course, people will be very, very, they will panic, and they will start to keep the rice. And even those that are selling the rice, they will try to keep some of the rice for their parents, their family, because they themselves, they are family head. You cannot sell all the rice, and you look at the government buying all of the rice, and they are not giving it to the people, but they are keeping it just because they want to do campaign, or campaign is coming closer. They desperately need this campaign, and they want to distribute this rice to the masses, so that they can remove one man from the power that they think is very, that they think is a hell for that man to be in power. It is clear. Anybody who can disagree with it, you can disagree with it you want, but this scarcity of rice is caused by the government. You're buying, according to them, $30 million. You are now putting that money into agriculture to grow more rice, to create, because we have to sacrifice. This is what the government fails to understand. We need to sacrifice. We know Liberians need rice, they need food, but the $30 million is the money enough to put it in the agricultural system, to put it in the agricultural sector, to create more jobs for Liberian people and create more food. In fact, and even exports. All right? But they failed to do that. But their goal was to hoard this rice, to buy the rice from the market, keep it, like what Thomas Fala and other colleagues are doing, sharing back rice and giving money out to Liberian people, because that's what they think Liberian people can vote for: rice and money. Therefore, if they have $30 million to carry on food development exercise, to let's say food distribution exercise or whatever it is, don't you think it would be prudent enough to keep the rice, the food that they are, because they are the government? As long as the resolution is passed, you can only call these men for accountability or come and explain. And we know we have spineless people in the house. So even calling these people, it will not still give all the guarantee that it will be transparent. So they know it. They know their game. Therefore, they feel like saving most of these rights and keep dispersing them among Liberians for vote. It's good, just for them to move the law. So as for the scarcity of rice, I feel like this government is the number one reason why we have scarcity of rice in Monrovia, because everybody is crying for rice, but the government's taking a full ample money to distribute and rice to Liberian who cannot afford to buy them. And mind you, this rice they are distributing after 1 or 2 months is over. And right after that 1 or 2, 3 months, Liberians going to need rice again. They still going to start crying again. So it will not solve the problem. That's my point. So the inflations in Liberia, it has been imposed by this government. And in fact, the government herself is not in any trend to work it off. Yesterday, government was very corrupt, but at least they were trying to work something out. When the US rate go up, they will manage and bring it down. Then when the US rate go up, they will manage and bring it down. And I mean, my last one before I can give the chance to my brother Jonathan to come in, because I feel like he's getting bored now. Jonathan, don't be bored. Just the last one. Can you hear me, Jonathan? Yeah. So as for the $25 million, you see, this is why our inflation in Liberia is getting intense every day and night, because we have people, the country is sick and the doctors are not working. If you are sick, severely sick, you need operation, you go to the hospital and they tell you, say the doctor was there, the doctor left, and you need to be well taken care of, and the doctor can't come back. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to lose hope and you might likely die. So this is the situation right now in Liberia. We have problems. Our economy, can you imagine the GDP growth were 0.5 just last year? I mean, the beginning of this year, and we still complain. 0.5 is still not good for us. But to my ultimate surprise, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys have seen it, it is down back to 2.5. We are not just going anywhere under this regime. We are not just going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. Under this regime, we are not just going anywhere. We are seeing nothing put in place to work these things out. Not just on the inflation. You found less competent people working for the government. If our constitution is very clear and is one of this. Our constitution is very clear. You have to be at least high school graduate to become a president or whoever you want to become that country. Or you don't even necessarily have to be a high school graduate. As long as you know your level right, you can be. Wisdom alone can take you to the House of Representatives and make you a lawmaker. Therefore, I don't blame Mr. Weah for his level of understanding. But if you are a president, you need to surround yourself with credible people that can actually execute what you want to execute. There's many presidents today in the world that are not that educated. They don't even have a master's degree. You got presidents around the globe of Africa that only carries at least BSc, or maybe some of them might not even be educated. But they work with expertise, people that can put things in place, people that can not just be carried away. Okay, you have GDP like this, it's not going, it's dropping every day and night, but your purpose is to remove one man from position. You're not even working towards it. You passed $535.4 million budget. And we all know it's going to be passed. That money going to be passed because lawmakers, they need that money to go vote. They need that money to go to their constituents and prove something and share some bigger rights. Some of them can't even wait to pass that bill by tomorrow. You understand? Or whatever day. But if you have a budget of that type of money, and then 90%, let's say 96% or 95% of that money is only intended for recurrent expenditure. So where are we going? Where are we going? $535.4 million United States dollars budget for just 1 year. But you have 96% of that money just for recurrent expenditure. Then tell me, where is the human infrastructure development? Where is the good education we yearning to see one day in our country? Where is the Liberia we want to see? Because everything you get, and something, I'm not an economist student, but it is just a common idea. If you are making business and you're not getting profit, in fact, the money you're making, you're spending it with no profit, that's not a business. Is that a business? It's not a business. Business, you need to get profit. You need to understand what you're actually doing, and your profit should be secure. And your business, the head, that one you call it the money you put into the spending. Okay, but in Liberia, we are only struggling every day, every night to generate the budget. And when we generate the budget, we spend it on ourselves. So you want to talk about inflation? Inflation will not go anywhere. And to the regime change, because of that, because of these things, we need to change regime. Of course, yes, I agree to a regime change. 2023, we Liberians should go and vote wisely to change. And I have Jovier, he's a man. He's a fine man. He is a human being. I can't hate him because I'm a human being. But when it comes to work, this is the reason why America is different from other countries. In America, there is no partisan thing here. If you can't do the job, your own man will vote against you. If you can do the job, the other man will come from the other party and join you. This is how it works here. And Mr. Alfred, I don't know which of the country you are. I don't know if you're in Australia or you in America, but I'm pretty sure that we are in a corporate society. You should be somewhere in a Western environment. And this is how the Western environment works. This is the reason why we all keep running from Africa to come in a Western environment, because the way the system works here. They don't do partisan thing here. No partisan thing here. All right. If this man can do the job, they will bring the other man on board. No matter what. Regardless his party, he's from this party or that party, they will bring him forward. So let me give chance to my brother Jonathan or whosoever will be the next person on this show to flow.
All right, thank you for your point. You stressed out some points here that we checked down and we'll be going into it after Jonathan shall have given his view about the subject under discussion. So we open the floor. Jonathan, welcome to the Afretama show.
All right, first time I thank you, and thank you to Quality Sherry and to all our listeners in the show. As it relates to the discussion, if I may rightly quote our agenda today, we're discussing inflation, scarcity of rice, that situation, and government on effort to improve those situations, and whether there should be regime change and all that kind of thing. So firstly, currently I'm speaking to the show from Liberia, from my 72nd resident, and everything that is highlighted on the agenda are things that I'm feeling right now, and things that I can say I'm a direct beneficiary, or I'm a direct victim of it, right? So as for all these things and inflation, like Kwandu rightly said, a lot of these things will be blamed on government, and that is true. All of them are blamed on government because a government that we know should be a set of capable people that run the affairs of a nation. So when you have an incompetent government, I'm sorry, I mean no disrespect, right? But if you have an incompetent government, these will be the fruit of that particular government. Everything will become tough for the citizens and all that kind of things. To speak to those points one by one, inflation is caused by the government. Inflation is has begun the daily activities of every citizen. People raise prices high above because they want to get something for themselves, right? Yeah, because they want to get something for themselves, because they also do that because of greed. And what happens? There is no regulation. Government does not regulate anything. You know, if government has a regulatory body to regulate all those things, I mean, inflation cannot be eradicated from a nation altogether, but at least it can be controlled to a level. You understand me? So, but government doesn't have any regulatory body to regulate the market and all the kind of things. So anybody can just increase price at any level at any time, right? So all these things are also blamed on government. And when it comes to the scarcity of rice, it is also a fault of the government. Right now, let me tell you, Alfred and Kwandu. During this Corona time, government promised a similar packages for every household in Liberia. And I think, as educated as Wilson Tamba is, current Minister of Commerce, in his own education and experience, I think they did not do well in advising the president as to giving each house a package. That is so difficult. We know how struggling Liberia is, right? It is so difficult. You cannot distribute food to each house, even in Motherland, and then talking about the entire or Liberia. So what government could have done, in my mind, there are few importers of rice in Liberia, about three importers. What could you have done to make sure that every Liberian benefit from this particular package you're talking about, or to help in this pandemic crisis, right? You could have passed through the Minister of Commerce, tell him, look, my man, you got to talk to those who importing rice, who is responsible for importing rice and food items in Liberia. Reduce the taxes and even go as far as giving them tax break for a certain period after the pandemic, so that the prices of rice will reduce to a certain level that every single Liberian will be able to buy a bag of rice. If that is done, I tell you for free, everyone around Liberia, even the poor or the poorest, will be able to buy rice for him or herself. You getting me? That will be done in a simplest manner than hair counting people to go and distribute one bag of rice, one bag of beans, and alcohol to each Liberian. I hope you understand the sense I'm making out of this. Yeah, very good. So that was by taking 30 million. In fact, right now we are working on a project. We are working on a project where we are also demanding WFP to provide us the signed and sealed copy of the contract between the Liberian government and that of the WFP, because there are conflicting news and views that we are hearing, and as conscious Liberians and youth, we cannot sit and allow those things to happen in our country, in our present, because today or tomorrow our history will judge us, and our children will be asking us, but daddy, where were you guys when all these things were happening in Liberia? So according to the Liberian government, they have to pay 30 million to WFP for they have to pay 30 million for procurement, how to call it, issue for logistics, right? And WFP is saying the government paid 9 million. So that statement is conflicting. So we, as conscious Liberians, we also wrote WFP a week ago, but WFP has not responded to us, even though we follow up, and they are still reneging on giving us the information we want. But it's also enshrined in our constitution that we have right to request for any document with any foreign or private partners that has to do with public funds. So if WFP does not release that information to us, we have the right to take it to a lawsuit. Okay, now to go further into that, I just wanted to tell you something about that. So it's based on the incompetency of government that we have this problem. You getting me? Now there are officials of the government that goes to work in the morning, and in order to try to analyze the work activities and do what it's supposed to do to make sure that the country gets improved, they are all there seeking political relevance, and because of the same incompetency that I keep preaching here, they leave the actual activity, work activities, and then they try to bring out another thing. I will give you two persons. You see Jefferson Kochi, as my brother here mentioned, and you see Eugene Falcon. I tell you something back. 3 to 4 years back, when Eugene Falcon was sitting in America, he used Google and he used dictionary to find big words and ascribe them to Ellen government. For example, political cartel. He said Ellen and her officials are all political cartel. They squandered government money. They do this and that. Yeah, but the guy, you know, any of those things, the guy used dictionary and Google to follow big words and just, you know, ascribe it to those people. Now that the man is in power, he doesn't know anything about the position he's occupying. So what happened? He just have to go on the street and pick another person just to know that he present, because if it is left with with his creativity or innovation in the position he is, nobody will ever see him. He will never be known because he's not creative to bring something new on board, and you know, convince the people that Eugene Fagon understands what he does. So he has to go outside and pick on other people, take something that non-essential things and bring them out just so he can be highlighted. As well as Jefferson Kochi. Instead of taking the dirt from the street, finding way, you know, to manage the waste in the street, and even say, and maybe to make use out of it, maybe find way to make the waste out of fertilizer and do all the things, or get them out and place them somewhere that other people will take it and make use out of it. He doesn't do it. But what Jefferson Kochi does is put guys together, red cap like that one militia group, and they pass around the street whole day, causing trouble, beat other people, and do this and that. You understand me? So these are not bringing any help to the government. These are not bringing any help to the government. This regime, if they want this regime to work, we as conscious Liberians will not stop criticizing, because we have to criticize so you can work. You understand me? We for me, number one, I don't hate George Weah. George Weah has taken Liberia, you know, outside to the world before. He's a good man. I must admit, I love him. But those he has around him and his own self, because let me give you one parable. I told people that those who don't know how to cook, right? When they're cooking, they will cook more pepper so that when you're eating it, it will be briny. You can't even feel the taste of the food. You understand me? Yeah. When they know how to cook, they will cook more pepper, because when you're eating a briny amount, you ain't even thinking about the taste of the food. So George Weah, in his disability to handle the country, he should handle the country with high hand. Even the ministers and the government officials that are performing poorly, and some that are caught in corrupt acts and all the kind of things, should be punished severely. And then the rest of them will see it and be frightened, and they will do their work on time. But when those things happen, the man doesn't do anything. In fact, he grabs those guys and put them under his arm, and they go sit down to his new office. His new office is his resort. That's where he works for now, right? He works for his resort now, because every day escort one parking right to that resort. And he's one of the non-essential staff in Liberia right now, because since the corona started, he have not worked. So George Weah is one of the biggest, most non-essential staff in Liberia right now. So yeah, the man sit down to the place and enjoy himself all day. You understand me? So with this, the country cannot improve, and government has done absolutely nothing to improve the country. I will tell you, absolutely nothing. What happened is that when we come to the scarcity of rice, let me go back there. Rice is being scarce right now. Why? People are campaigning, right? So the government official going to buy the rice from the people and go and campaign with it. They make the rice to be scarce. People have the money. I tell you no lie. Just a few the rice price, just imagine 25 kg went up to $4,500. Can you imagine? That has never happened in Liberia before. It has never happened. 4,500. How can a suffering Liberian buy 125 kg bag of rice, 4,500, and government says nothing about this. Government says nothing.
Why? How they will say something, my
Yeah,
man, when the government they said Isa?
I'm telling you, the people buying the rice, carrying it to run campaign with it. Just last night again, the man, just last night, just we are in a whole game were in meeting at his research, and they were planning how he was telling the people from our intelligence, he was telling the people from our soldiers that they must make they must make sure that Dillon does not win. Anything they can do, they may even yes. The man said they should do anything and kind of all I want on him. They should do everything that that Dillon should not win Maserado. But we got news for him as well because we as intelligence, we as intellectual bureau of Liberia, we will never sit down and let such thing happen. To go to the next issue, like I said, government has not done anything to solve this problem. So I will talk about the regime change lastly. When it comes to regime change,
Because you strong.
by means of yeah, by means of constitutional stuff, there is a need that 2023. I'm not only talking on the show, I'm also urging every listener to this show that 2023, if there is no change, if George Weah doesn't call for a reconstruction of his government, because all Liberia needs is betterment. All Liberians need is for the country to be better and for the citizenry to live a better life. We don't care who will be president. We need a better president. We need a president like Magufuli of Tanzania. We need a president like Paul Kagame of Rwanda. We also need a president like Julius Bill of Sierra Leone. These are people that we need that can change Liberia. So if George Weah, in his mind, can restructure his government, can elevate, I don't know which word to really use tonight. If George Weah can just restructure his government to do better, Liberians will continue to vote for him. But if he remains on this pace, if he remains on this particular footing he is, comes 2023, he will be moved. He will be removed, and there will be need to remove him. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. So I think I
Okay.
can stop here for tonight.
Okay. Okay. So those are the points. Those are the points you just said. Mr. Sharif, Mr. Sharif. Um,
Yeah.
I just some point for you guys, and for which of course we're gonna be talking about. It's very essential and it's important that we disagree with each other, but we have such a civil discussion or conversation. And
Yeah.
you find out that not many talk shows are doing this because the best way to maybe is to talk about the problem together. Maybe we can disagree, but we have to you have to disagree to agree. That's the beauty of it. So you talk about you you, you talk about youth empowerment, and you talk about lack of trust and lack of
Yes.
integrity, and then you talk about okay. So let hit each of those um, points that you just touched. So you talk about youth empowerment. Um, do you think the lack of unemployment in this COVID-19 crisis is simply because of um, the situation that um, international travels have been restricted?
So your question is a little bit frightening. Let me say it this way. It's kind of confusing a little bit. Are you talking about Liberia or here, or let's say nationwide? Uh, I mean, globally.
Um, to be specific, we have to narrow down the topic because
To
I can,
Liberia, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, my brother. If I may understand you, you were trying to say you were asking me. If do I think the unemployment in Liberia is caused by the COVID-19, right? Currently, um, let us just put COVID-19 aside, my brother. The thing here is we need to open our eyes. Um, we we are not stupid, and all of you guys right on this show, you know what I'm talking. Liberians, uh, they are not stupid any longer. Um, this government came to power 2017. Let's say that way, or maybe they actually were officially, they officially got into power. Let's say in the very first month in 2020. I mean 2018. From that to 2020, that's almost 2 years, or that was 2 years and a half, right? That was 2 years and a half. And our parent always tells us this: if you go in the farm and make your corn, if that corn going to do well, you will see it from the beginning when you're growing, when you're coming out. Um, this government, we all thought, for me, I thought this government could do better. Um, at the very, even though I had issue with putting this government coming to power, I tell you it's still going to do better because they the way I saw the youth were all into this government. The youth were happy. They were all on the street. Jubilating our government, our own son, our country giant, the man himself, the man that will come and liberate our country, that will create. That way, I hear all these 6,000 teachers coming in. That way, I hear all these things, and I was moved because there was a lot of stuff, coming out. There was a lot of stuff this government talk about. They talk about free education, and I was like, what? So I was going against this government. All right, they talk about all of these things, but unfortunately, in the contract, we saw to it that Joey only worry about. I just want to come. I will come straight to your point, but I'm just laying something. All right. I know I'm going a little bit contrary to the question. Um, in contrast to that, we saw Joey busting down his nursery house, start to erect the 47 unit housing. I mean the house, and I still doubt it. And I was like, I think he's still going to do better because they say they make their money. You see? and then the youth, empowerment, started to drag. Everything started to change. In fact, youth, and don't get me wrong, let me just make it straight, all right? You found more youth in this government than the past. Let me say it that way. I don't want you to get me, yeah, I don't want to, let me just set it straight. You found more youth in this government than the past. But the question here is,
if you say, if you say, okay,
yeah, you asked me, youth empowerment.
Okay.
So I am concluding that most of the youth are working in this government than the past. I think that alone has answered your question. But you have to look at this. Are they making an impact? Are they making an impact? Bringing youth on board. Jefferson Kochi is a youth. I mean, he is pretty young, right? You look into Mama Say as a deputy minister, she's young, right? And you find a lot of guys that works within the ministries in Liberia right now currently. They are all young. But are they making any effort when it comes to the governance, when it comes to taking tangible decisions, when it comes to actually standing for our country? They are not. Therefore, we don't want that type of youth empowerment. We want you to empower youth through education. Let them go out and learn. If I were Jefferson Koji, I would go and seek more education. If I were Mama said, I would go out and seek more education. If I was other guys that actually struggle, I will not sit down and say, this is my time. It is my time, of course, but my time to go and better myself. These are the youth empowerment we wanted. Or let's say that this government actually, the Liberian people wanted. You know, I talked to my uncle before. My uncle, one of my uncle, I'm not going to call his name because we're not me. But I did talk to him once, right after this government came to power, and then he was like, the people wanted young government. They wanted youth. I mean, they wanted government that is dominated by youth. They're tired with the old people. And I was like, why you think the people wanted young people? He said, because the old people, they've been there for so long, and then Liberia has not changed yet. So we want a total change. And I'm giving this word. I said, but if you want to change, you don't be mad. Do not be angry. Don't be in that emotion to make change.
Right.
Because
Right.
if you are angry, you're going to make a change tomorrow you will regret.
Right.
You say, oh, my man, you know, the government, the people, they already. I said, okay. And this government came to power. Again, they got more youth, but they have useless youth working for the country. And this is why we are not working, we are not moving forward.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so if you say you said youth empowerment to education, that Jefferson Koji should have gone to
I
school
think
and
that's
better
my
himself,
opinion. Yes.
and that's and better himself. So is there a qualification? Is there like a specific requirement for being a city mayor?
You see, this is the reason why Liberia, we are always backward. And I feel like we need to change the trend. Our way of thinking and our way of qualification, this, that, you need to get this. Of course not. He doesn't need, I mean, I don't, if your president only need a high school diploma to be a president, then why are you going to ask Jefferson Koji to need a qualification? If that been the case, just common sense, right? So you're not going to impose on Jefferson Koji, asking Jefferson Koji, oh, my man, you need qualification to be. No. But if we are talking about betterment, if we are talking about how well our country can do better, the country should go forward.
Right.
If you have people that are demanding in the head to work for
Right.
government, in fact, in Liberia, the government is the number one employer, and the government decides everything in the country. So that kind of a place, you need people that can think from everywhere, out of the box. In America, they call it think out of the box. You need people
Okay.
that can think out of the box, people that are mind open, that have achieved. I mean, not that. I mean, let me not put that achieve there, but that have at least require certain experience. I mean, acquire certain experience that are very, expert when it comes to dealing with situations that we are fixing right now. Inflation, bad governance, people dying, rapes cases, and all of these things happening. And then yet we still don't have leaders that can work with them. Out of my just yesterday or just Saturday, this going Saturday, you found Minister Tue was campaigning in Iron Factory. The whole minister for monetary affairs. Somebody who supposed to put mechanism in order and consult with people in order for our GDP to start coming from 2.5 because it's no good for our country.
Okay.
For our GDP to start moving from there. But this man is in Iron Factory campaigning heavily. I mean, don't get me wrong. He went there with some type of accountability, transparent rhetoric, but we know that's not it. Like my brother likely said, Jonathan, President, we had just had a meeting with his cabinet ministers, his government officials, telling them that, my brother, we need this position, we need a seat. He did not call his official to talk about what is happening to Liberia. What should we do to improve our economic system from 2.1, from 2.5, the GDP growth, and what can we do to improve our human resource capacity? What can we do to enlighten our people mind? And so that the work they will be doing to speak for them, and then Dara Dillon will be small in the case. Because if you do an excellent work or good work, Dara Dillon, where will you go? We want you to do good work. But the minister, you know, you know, the Liberian people gotta wake up their mind. I gotta get chance to you, but the Liberian people gotta, you know, they gotta wake up. They gotta wake up from sleep.
Okay. So we will Jonathan in your thank you, then my brother Sherry for making that point. You just touched or said the points. You know, like if we having such a discussion like this, for example, you just question the point. For each time you talk, it just lead into another point. So basically, you highlight series of points. Out of a statement, a series of points, and that lead into another points. But anyways, Jonathan, the previous statement you said you talk about stimulus packages. If everyone can get a, what if everyone can get a stimulus packages like government talk about? So now my question to you is, do you think everyone gonna get the stimulus packages? Because looking at the situation, if it was like somewhere like other countries, then you understand what I mean. The telecommunication, I don't know who is the minister there, but the minister of telecommunications actually, the houses doesn't have an address. You have a lot of houses, and well, I mean, in that way, you will say, okay, I'll post this package to this house, this package to this house. That way, there can be good accountability. So, do you actually think everyone going to benefit from, even if the government having to decide to send stimulus packages?
No, everyone, but in fact, 5% of the population will not benefit.
Right.
I didn't want 100%, just 35% will not benefit. Why? Like you rightly said, the country doesn't have any tracking system. In fact, since 2008, we conducted the last census in the country. Since 2008. So you don't have any means of tracking. Yeah, you don't have any means of tracking your citizens. You understand me?
Right.
If you don't have any means or getting each person's social security number to see is the person identification, so we have to deliver this package to the person. No, you don't have it. In fact, what was one of the arguments with WFP and the Liberian government? After WF, when the Liberian government requested that they themselves want to do the distribution of the stimulus package and all of them, when WFP said no, they said, okay, but then you yourself go ahead. When WFP requested now for the census for the total number of people in the country, the government said WFP said should go ahead and do hair count. You understand it?
According to what
They said the
source?
process should go ahead. Yeah, the sources are there, my brother.
Okay.
We yeah, they are in newspaper, all those kind of things. The
Okay.
government said the people should go ahead and do hair count. You understand that? Okay,
Okay.
far more than that. For the fact that you don't have all those information to distribute similar packages to each household in Liberia. The best way, simple, is what I just point out in my first explanation, right?
Okay.
We go to those very people that are doing importation, pay them certain portion of the profit back, reduce the tariff, and demand or dictate to them to sell the rest. For example, 25 kg is sold for $15 on a regular price or regular basis, right? Make sure that you pay back some of the profit or give them a tax break and tell them that look, sell this rest for $5. You understand me? Quando Alfred has dropped.
I'm here.
You getting me
I'm here.
right?
Alfred is back.
Okay. So you getting me right?
Yeah.
Alfred getting me?
Very.
So since you don't have the means of tracking all your citizens, go to those importers and tell them, look, reduce I will pay you back this portion. How much you buy your rest, I'll pay you back this profit portion and then sell the rest since the rest is still sold generally on $15 on a normal price $15. Sell this rest for $5. Tell me, if you sell rest for $5, if the government has worked on that modality and make sure that rest is sold at $5, every Liberian will be able to afford that rest. You understand me?
Okay.
As high as it is now, who are eating. So if government had tried in their efforts to reduce the price of rice on the market, my
Hmm.
brother, Liberians will be okay right now. I tell you no lie. People used to like Chancellor, not because Chancellor was peaceful. When Chancellor was here, we never had peace. You understand me? People were dying, Chancellor, some were killing people here for free and everything. But food business was okay, so Liberian people say Chancellor was good. You
Okay.
understand me? In a
Right.
kind of hard time, the best thing to do for your people is to provide them with their primary needs. And what are the primary needs? Food, security, and shelter, right?
Right.
So at least other countries, we are not comparing ourselves to other countries because we are not as resourceful as those countries are. We are not expecting you to give us free electricity because the whole country even get electricity. We are not expecting you to give us free water because we know the whole country ain't get free water. But at least since you cannot produce your own food through your agricultural ministry, make sure that it wants to import in you reduce tariffs and all that stuff on it so that your citizen, your poor citizen can be able to benefit from those things.
Okay.
So to answer your question again, no, every Liberian, not even 25% of Liberians could benefit from those similar packages promised by the Liberian government. Thank you.
And then in your narrative when you were saying you say you guys wrote WFP for accountability of maybe to provide some level of documentation. What was written in the draft to WFP?
Okay. Um, in line with the request of information in the Liberian Constitution,
Okay.
we wrote clearly that WFP. It is stated that the citizens citizens have right to request for any legal document that involves public resource or public funds between the
Right.
Liberian government and any other private or non-governmental institution.
Right.
From that background, we wrote the WFP since there was a conflicting news that
Right.
the government of Liberia said they gave WFP 30 million for logistics in bringing the food to Liberia. And then WFP country director said, no, we did not receive 30 million, we received 9 million. And Liberian government gave a checklist of how the 30 million was distributed. But what lacked in a particular checklist was 9 million given to the other person. But there was no, vivid document that proved that the people that first money was given out. And you understand me?
Right. We're getting you.
So for that background, we requested those information. But since we requested that, it had passed a week and few days. We also follow up and a confirmed receipt of our email, but it did not reply us. So today, if you even check on my page now, we have a press conference with OTFN radio station. If you check on my page, you see that I hosted the watch or something there.
Okay.
So we also told the Liberian people that we wrote these people and they refused to give us our information. This is our final warning to them. If they do not release our information, we will file a lawsuit against WFP. So the press conference there is on social media. You can type in my name, you see it, or you go to or you, any other social media you can do, you will see that press conference there. You go OPS and share it live.
Okay. So thank you for that brief. You know, I just want to point something out here. Um, in every blame, I noticed that was shift on the government, specifically the president. Um, so as we all know, I'm not saying that it's good or I'm not supporting the deeds. And as my brother Reckless today, when he said, um, Mr. Sheriff said, he talked about for the 7 bedroom houses being built. Um, to that point, me just make a comment on that. Um, I'm not disputing the fact; it's real, okay. But what am I saying? What am I saying is that in my view, in my opinion, I think because those estates you have to have real estates, and is if you look at now in the country, um, how they call those estates, Cabra estates, SKD, and those, I mean that's it, those there are key estates that are all built in the country, and today he's gone. Who is living in the estates? Some Liberians who are in the country renting the estates, and the revenue is going to the government. Now let's look at the previous regime. I'm not also supporting the art of Benin. You can't do that. But let's just look at the previous regime. The previous regime,
To a point. To a point.
okay,
Okay, yeah, you made mention of Samuel, the late Samuel Kayenzo, and was
Tubber, Tubber,
referring to the
Tubber,
essays he did
Tubber. It was Tubber.
on
Sorry, it was Tubber.
Tamba. You made mention of Tobert in comparison with George Manning. Tobert, just a point of correction. Tobert built those essays. It was not in his name or his personal property. Unless President Weah, he built those property in his own name as his personal property.
Stephen Tubber Estate though.
And you see,
No,
he said,
my brother, I'm
Stephen
sorry,
Tubber Estate.
Jonathan, for
it's
cutting
not,
you off.
it's not his,
Jonathan,
I come in.
Stephen Tubber Estate.
Yes. It's not his personal property. It's for government. For
Exactly. So that's
example,
what
you
I'm
can build
saying.
your.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
I
I
was
say,
saying,
mhm.
unless President Weah, it's not government property. It's his personal property. His personal property. And I don't want us to have the mindset of a typical Liberian who says, at least the man stole the money, he not carry different place. But
Some
he building it right in the country. Yes. No.
right. Someone
Thank
said
you.
someone did mention, someone did corrected. If you go on the screen, I posted. They said someone said 17 houses in our compound, not 47. They said. But anyways, my point here is the previous regime. If you look at the Ministry of the Ministry of Health and the health system, especially JFK now, is totally poor. She built. If you make your research, go maybe in South Africa. In South Africa, the one of the renowned, some of the real modern hospital. Take it out of the country, build it in South
Alfred
Africa.
Tamba,
I'm not
Alfred,
supporting. I'm not saying it's.
Alfred,
I'm just
Alfred.
highlighting. Yeah.
Don't bore us in this conversation. We understand what we actually trying to communicate here. This is personal. We are talking about personal. When something is personal, I don't know how you look at that personal, but when something is personal, it means it belongs to an individual, that for
Okay.
somebody, one person, and that will not be claimed by a government or any other person except for him or her family members. Okay, because but you feel you don't understand. You see, Stephen Tower, you can build an institute. I mean, you can build something because Stephen Tower Estate, you've seen it. Liberians have benefiting from it. The man built estate and name it after him. Of course, even here in America, you find roads, you find places that is named after presidents upon presidents. You don't
Right.
find that, okay? But here we are. What we are saying, these are personal property. Be it his name or not, is his name is personal property. That man was talking about 17. I don't know where he comes from with that number, but as far as far as I'm
About 40
concerned,
years in that place.
it is
40 years.
exactly. I don't know where he comes from. Coming from with his 17.
I've been there live. Not
Okay,
GP, I've been there
okay,
live.
my brother. Now we're talking about personal, my brother. And according to the government, nobody. We are wise people, and we're not naive. We're not stupid. We understand. But the government thinks that they are making it seems like they are the only government that have inherited a country that was poor. 2005, Liberia has 60 million on it. 60 million. We just came from post-war. Liberia has 60 million only in the account. After doing during Brian time, 60 million. What can you do? A whole country do with $60 million? Now, some of you guys will say, "Oh yeah, but Ellie that time, right after the war, oh Ellie had she had a lot of donations. People gave her money. They gave her a whole lot of stuff. Of course, yes, but it's still a challenge. It was still a challenge. It was still a
Yeah.
challenge, especially if you go and see $60 million and the people you're working with, you don't even know them. You just became president. You inherited a terrible country like that. You have people that carry guns around from point to point B, from to point A. You still have ex-combatants. You still have people who still get ammunition in their very homes. Anything could happen. Anything could spark up. Now, I'm not here to defend anybody, but I'm just bringing that instance because most of my Liberians, let me say my brothers and sisters in the CDC, when you talk to them, oh, we inherited a broke country. Now, to the point, I just want to give that instance for people to understand that it was $60 million in the account 2005. Now, to the point, when you inherit a broke country, what can you do? That's the point. What will you put together? Do you need to start building your homes? Do you need to start busting down 9th Street house? Do you need to worry about your fancy lifestyle? As a father, you are a father. You went to the house. It's been a long time. You've been wanting to see your wives and the kids. You go. One day, God help you. You go see your wife and your kids, right? And you go see them. They are living in a deplorable condition. Their roof is leaking. They don't even have food for the past 1 week. They're hungry. Your wife is sick. Or let's say your wife is not sick, your wife is doing well, but she does not have money to give to these kids, to feed them. You as a father, when you go into that hole, what would be the number one priority you ever think of? You go in a house, the roof is leaking when the rain falls, the children, they ain't eat yet, they're all hungry, and you are very self too. You need to be on something. As a father, when you go in that house, what will you do? The first thing is provide food for them. Let them get stamina. When they get stamina, they start to walk strong. Then two or other y'all now, y'all can join together. Y'all go and find something or another means to start renovating the house. You can go renovate the roof and then you're hungry. You might even be working and fall and die. This is a problem. This government came with no agenda to wake Liberia up, to help Liberian citizens. The man escaped during the debate. Joy, we are not telling nobody agenda. The only thing I know what Joy said was, when the red press go all high, we'll bring it down for everybody to get it at all. That's the only thing we hear. That was the only agenda.
But okay, that I will.
You see it?
Okay, great.
So,
I understand.
let me conclude quick. Being your private stuff, being your stuff, it shows that you have no little ethics. Because if you go to your home and you see the place is deplorable, you must worry about the living standard of the people before yourself. Because when you are president or good leader, don't worry about they don't worry about re-election. They don't worry about fancy lifestyle. They worry about the future. Like what my brother mentioned. The man from Tanzania, Uganda. The man that dictator in Rwanda, Paul Kagame, yes, of course. But look what he is doing for the people. The people are cool with it. You see it?
Okay, so
I think you might know the difference between personal and somebody being hard and put and try comparing president. Mr. Weah to Tamba. You insulting Tamba, my man?
I mean, no, I'm not saying that to overshadow the conversation. What I'm not saying is that.
No, I'm kidding, my brother.
I know, but what I'm not saying is that I'm just saying because you said, and first of all, in my opinion, like some of the viewers just posted 17 houses. I don't know if they are actually overemphasizing the actual number, but anyways, you guys, you did mention again. You said their key agenda is to deny Darius Dillon access to to winning the senatorial election 2020.
Yes.
So now, and according to you guys, that means you guys basically believe in Dillon so much, you trusted Dillon, and and then, but my point is, I'm not supporting this government. Like, but what I'm saying is, government is a body of persons elected by the people, to carry on some functions for the country. But what I'm saying is, you have other bodies that actually make the government. Okay, and you have senators. Those senators, even Dala Dillon is part of the senators, member of the senator of which he represents. So you cannot exclude yourself first of all. Those people see where they live. Even you in the USA, if they give each senators or each representative recess or even break, little break, what they do is they go back, these governors, they go back to their states to see what the state needs. But those people, they are not even living within their state. I mean, within their county. They're living in Morovia. Most of them living in Morovia. See, there were accountability lacking. And then you talk about Darius Dillon. Darius Dillon, I mean, the reason why we don't have more information as to his accountability or as to why he have to afford for the Liberian people or for his state, I mean, his county for
Point of
which he
correction.
represents, is because
Point of correction. We no, you nobody. You got no information. I do have adequate information about Darius Dillon. If you want me to give it to you,
no the reason no
let me
I
come
just
in with
wanted
them
you to
out.
lay background
no the reason is the reason
Kwame,
no
let
I'm saying the reason why we cannot delve into Darius
yeah,
Dillon is because if you want us to Darius Dillon, we're not attacking personality, we are attacking the issue. So the issue if we cannot, the reason why I say we cannot um you know highlight some issues on Darius Dillon, especially to discuss, is because he just he just completing someone else's term. So if but other than that, that's a different topic that we will keep for different discussion about Darius Dillon and whatever he has to, But anyways, and then you mentioned Jefferson Kochi. Jefferson Kochi, he's a city mayor, and then you say that he needed to use the opportunity wisely to improve himself. Firstly, leadership is just, I mean, especially the position he occupies right now, everyone are not the same. Many people will point, will relate to Mary Burr, her term as sitting mayor. She did excellent and occupying that position, for which um Jefferson Kochi cannot even come close to. We know that, but do you actually think is the lack of education that actually making him cannot contribute to his position?
Let me
okay.
let me
Now,
put that. Let me put something out real quick. I just want to get this education thing correct. So we can be talking about education here.
Right.
You see, like I said, the president himself. I mean, if you have, I mean, if you can become president just on high school diploma, why would we? I mean, why would we go after a city mayor? Because in that position, in that particular scenario, we will refer to our city mayor common. Why would we go to common thing? Like city mayor, or require city mayor to be having a degree, right? You don't.
But you
You
did
need.
mention
Hold
that he
on,
had
hold
to
on, hold
improve
on.
himself.
I'm coming. Hold on. Listen. I'm coming to that. What
Okay.
I said was, Mr. Koji.
Hmm.
When we talk about youth empowerment, I said, Mr. Koji, if I will listen to what I said, if I, Abu, or let's say Kwaru Sharif, was Jefferson Koji in this regime, I will use the opportunity to better myself for the future. Do you understand what I'm saying? I will go, I will request. I mean, the job, it is a job that will make you get money. But I promise you,
I promise you, it is a job that needs experience. I don't care what. You might not need education, but you need experience to work it out. You see, Mirabro, you talk about Mirabro being in the system. Mirabro was a street smart. All right, Mirabro, and in fact, I don't know much about Mirabro educational background. I mean, or background when it comes to education. But Mirabro was a woman that she speaks very eloquently, and she does things at the time, correctly what we think. And this is we all we some of us even hated Mirabro because of that. And at some point, she even became very arrogant in her executions. But Jefferson Koji, the whole entire 12 years being with CDC, all Jefferson Koji was doing was to what? To get on street and protest and talk too much. Okay? Was to run campaign and do all these things. And these things is not experience. These things is not something, these things are not something that a one can count on and look at somebody because the man can talk too much, he can speak both to the extent he confuse himself. Then you go take the man, you put in there to position. Your book not going to work for you. It is your integrity and the way you conform yourself to work. Jefferson Koji, that job is even bigger than him. You can see it from the way the man even go live and interview. You respond to interviews, and when you go on radio station, you can see it from him. I can assure you, Jefferson Koji is regretting right now why he even accepted that position. Because the boy is so confused. So I said, if I were Jefferson Koji, the job is good. What I would do, this government is going for 6 years. You already get your BSc in that country. What I would do, I will come and seek more knowledge. Be it this government, or another government, you will go and learn. You go learn, you come back, you can work in any other government. It doesn't have to be this government. Like a lawyer to a party that is destroying our country. If the man work with the government, he does sedition with the government, you will not work with other government.
Okay, so okay,
Alfred. Yeah, let me just touch on Jefferson Koji first on the basis of the question whether we think it is because of his education, that's why he's poorly performing and all the kind of things. First, I would tell you that Mary Brother doesn't have a BSc. Okay. That's why you see Mary Brother have always not have her own position. She has always been administrative position. Mary Brother, you have been minister. Mary Brother, you have been this, but because of the educational qualification, she always occupy administrative position. All the time Mary Brother work, you never see her say Mary Brother minister for the one. She always be what administrative position. One. Number two, you can have a little education and a little experience, but your willingness to do the work. You understand me? It's not matter. Jefferson Koji is not waiting to work. Jefferson Koji is more celebrity in his position than the duty he is called to do. I hope you understand that phrase.
Right.
Jefferson Koji, since he assumed power, he has become the best dressed in Liberia. But you can see the boy. I do you can see the man. Okay. The boy, the man dressed from head to toe. The boy, he's only a janitor, but see that how all a janitor can dress? Yeah, the man ought to be wearing his real boots and his teenager to be in the street, to clean the street. But the boy can dress more than even the president. So the boy is not waiting to work.
What? Now about Joey, I'll kick the man so money. That Joey, you're going to dress back?
The man needs to work, my man.
They make me go now. They make me go.
All right, my man.
So you okay. I like that point you just touched. We are now. I didn't say that. I was just basically commenting on the points that you guys touched. But let me just say this. I think, in my opinion, leadership. It just we talk about change, but change have to do with the mind. Okay. Yeah. So if we were to retrospect or point at good governance in maybe in Africa or some of the president that set example, we will set example of our late father Nelson Mandela of course. But and then you talk about the rest issue. We of course we haven't basically touched it. We just touching we attacking personality. But anyways, the rest issue. Let's look at the rest issue. It had just been confirmed by um Burden. Burden is one of some of the NGO in the country in West Africa Africa as large responsible for the underdog in the in Africa as large. So basically they are saying that some farmers some farmers are trying to be engaged in because if you found out right now there is no according because of COVID-19 nobody living and nobody no input in a country because of that. And you guys start mentioning the 30 million, and just to confirm, and then someone said they according to Janitor, he said they received 9 million, right?
Yeah, every salary is 1 million.
Okay, they received 9 million instead of 30 million. So specifically, what year was that?
This is thing, yes, just during the pandemic, the corona time.
Oh, okay, okay. And then you touched another individual, Eugene Falcon, as you
Yeah.
was speaking up, you were talking about. So you touched another individual, Eugene Falcon. Um,
Hmm.
so basically, in your own, because you touched the individual, I believe, because in your closing statement, you did mention, come next president election, there will be regime change. So you do support regime change. But do you think do you think regime change will actually um, solve all of those issues that you guys just point out?
Okay, to answer your question, if you man, if you have listened to me carefully, you will also understand that I said the best thing that Liberians need is not an individual. They are not so interested in an individual, or they are not so interested in special people. You understand me?
Yeah,
What Liberians is good governance, good government, and its officials, right?
yeah,
So I said, if we can restructure his government to do the best thing in the best interest of the Liberian people, we will have no reason why we want to change the government. Now, in Rwanda today, there is no opposition. You know the reason why?
no,
Because when Kagame had opposition, he gave them chance. They talk all lot of things. They even brought rape cases against him and all the kind of things. You understand me? But
right,
not so all those things were brought against him. But with what he was doing with the country, keeping the country higher heart, the citizens look at it, they say, what? All the things you talking about, that man, we want it. So today, the man is free. The man is free. He has no opposition, even though he's a dictator. It was based on our background. He became a dictator. So if you do more for the people, even opposition sir can shake you. If CDC government is really strong, my brother, if they think they're doing well, why should they be afraid of one man directly alone? Why? When the late Tanga Poli was living during one election, you know what the man said to them? Everybody was running campaign, or they wanted the man seat. Then somebody asked the man, one generally asked the man in your interview. They say, but everybody running campaign here, and Papa, you're not running campaign. The Papa say, but I already get, I taking the boy want to play, but me, I already get it. So why would I run? Let it work up. So I mean, you sitting president, you get power, you doing good for the people. Why would you even think that somebody coming to your seat from you?
But like I said, we're not going to delve in direct to the issue because that's a whole branch of discussion here. So we will plan another time for that. But anyways, because of time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Alfred Tamba show. We do broadcast Monday. Sorry, Sunday and Monday every week. So stay tuned. This is Jonathan joining us from Liberia and Sharif joining us from the US. So um, thank you guys for contributing to the show. I do appreciate your presence here, and your presence here is actually welcome, and we will always um, look to inviting you guys another time. And
Yeah,
before we can leave, just want you guys to give your parting statement to us to the issue.
yeah. Let me hijack my man Jonathan because me I want to run quick somewhere. Let me hijack you, my man. Yeah, but I want to leave with this comment. I want all Liberians to really really sit down and think and just put and just think quietly and see all of the effort that they have been putting into a party. What have they achieved? A party, uh, it is fine to be with a party and be a lawyer to a party, but
Mhm.
it is also not fine to allow that party to destroy you. My main point is let us vote tomorrow. When I say tomorrow, December 8th, wisely. Let us vote not based on party loyalty, based on Mama Liberia betterment. Let us
Some of
vote
them.
tomorrow so that our children can come up and be proud of us. If not
Okay.
what we have built, if not what we have been doing, but at least of our vote. We can tell them we didn't do it, but we voted DeLong or we voted this man and we voted this man. This is why Liberia came to this point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for his statement, and we thank you for his statement. He just left. Um, so Jonathan, we will open the floors for you to give your part
Ah,
statement.
thank you, Afrotama. Thank you for the show. I know you are also a conscious Liberian, and even though you are out of the country, but you still think about the motherland. So that's a good thing, and thank you for having us on the show. You see, Liberia, I can tell anybody for sure and for free that Liberia is our country, it's our motherland. No matter how far we go from Liberia, we will still have to come back, and we will still need Liberia wherever we are. Therefore, when it comes to elections and all the kind of things, I tell people that we should open our eyes to vote wisely, right? And I realized in Liberia that we don't have a representation, the one we call representative or lawmaker. We don't have them. What we have here is a group of people who we voted for to give them job for them and their family and to find a way to exploit Liberian people. Therefore, in making choice to select who you want to lead you, we should properly evaluate them, and we shouldn't just do them on party basis. We should know who we're carrying because this is our country. If we spoil it for ourselves and we spoil it for our children. You understand me? So I just want to
Right.
caution all Nigerians to at least don't say you are not voting. Go to the ballot. Go to the to go and cast your ballot. But you should do it wisely. Think about who has the country at heart. Think
Right.
about what the person can do for the country that will benefit you and your children tomorrow. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you for the show, and I hope to be back on the show anytime. Thank you
Yeah,
very
thank you
much.
guys. I will definitely bring because you guys mentioned that we need to talk about that December election. That's a good very distinct topic, very huge. So thank you for joining us.
Okay. Have a good day.
Yeah, Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we come to the end of this live broadcasting for TV, Alfred Tamba TV. We do join us every week, Sunday, Thursday. I am your host, your presenter, Alfred Tamba. So have a pleasant afternoon. Thank you.